Good evening, people. Welcome to Reaching Out with Eddie and my. We're supposed to have a special show today. We're gonna have it Tuesday. It's been so much going on, people. I tell you, it's just been chaotic in Meridian and chaotic among different people from losing family members. And um, my condolences out to the Mercer Ball family, the Hampton family, and the Holt family. And I know what y'all about to say. Y'all about to say, Lofton, how you doing?
Pretty good.
Yeah. Um, Folks, I kind of like, um, when, so you voted in the election.
Yes, I did.
And people don't think that I'm kind of like incoherent. I really am not doing too good because my daughter's death certificate came back today. And uh, I mean, uh, talk to the people for a minute, Lofton.
Okay. A lot of times we go through life and the things that we see is not what's really there. Our lives have always been a struggle to try to do better for ourselves. The older people discipline us real good and they train us how to work. That was the way that we got the things that we needed most. We worked, and there was no such thing as child abuse. Parents disciplined their children and taught their children to work. And we was trained. Sometimes we would go to another family member home and they would tell us, don't eat. It's not because they was afraid of poison. They just trained us to be self-sufficient. Today we have gotten so much help that we done forgot how to work and don't want to work. You're killing yourselves by not producing. That's one thing we need to always be doing, is producing and working. That's what makes you strong. You don't have to depend upon another person. We're always going to somebody's going to have to help us from time to time. But if you're a productive person, people will see you for what you really are. And they'll know you will work. And they will help you when you're down. They've always done that. I've had so much help myself from different times. I've been homeless different times. Not because of certain pressure. I did it on my own. Or you didn't want to fuss or fight with one of your family members. Sometimes your family members can get in the way. Instead of working with you and pulling together with you, it will build you up. Sometimes you have property, land, or anything of value. If you work together, you can do more and produce more to help other people. But a lot of times, we get in each other's way. We talk against one another instead of encouraging each other and helping each other. That's the way a lot of the older people did. They really did a lot of that. They would help each other from one field to another. You had a problem within your family, they would come and support you and help you. I remember this one man told me when he was a young boy, his dad died. So they didn't have nobody to really be a leader in the field. So their neighbors did all their work and they came over to this lady's house and said, all we want your son to do is just bring us water.
Yeah.
And they worked that man in the field and got his crops in the ground and helped, brought him out.
It's good you say that, and you got to look at. I'm gonna tie that into the election, how we are divided in the community and in this country. This country is so divided, and I have to attribute that to our current president. And I mean, this election galvanized the community, and one down, one and two to go, and I did a lot today, people, and I got Lofton here. So Lofton, I got to ask you this: you just described to the people what we need to do and what we should do. And you said that you was a Republican. Are you still claiming to be a Republican, or it's just that you voted Republican last time? We're not talking about this time, that you're an independent thinker is what you're saying. Or you're a Republican?
No, I didn't put anything on the ballot or anything other. I just voted. The reason I voted the last time...
And you voted for Donald Trump the last time?
Yeah.
Okay. And why? Tell the people why.
And why I voted for Trump, when he first, you got all these people standing up telling them what they want to do and what they're going to do. When he mentioned getting work back in America and getting American people work, that's when I decided to change parties, because American people need to be working, producing for themselves. That way they will be strong again. That's the only way you're going to be strong, is for working. It has nothing to do with who's running things. It's you working for your own self. That's
But
the
this,
power.
but this time you did not vote for Donald
No.
Trump. So why you didn't? Why didn't you? Or why did you not vote for him this
Well,
time?
this time when this Latrice
Yeah,
Westbrook,
yeah.
when she mentioned certain things about us as a people, it made me change my thinking about a lot of things. So this time I voted for Biden. A lot of times you don't really know the people. Why? Unless you close to these peoples or side by side with you don't know a person. You just think you know them, and you really don't know them. But because of what they say or what they do, you have to change what you think. What you mean? If a person is causing a lot of problems, they get an attitude like they're better or they're more than what they are. They're misleading the people and they're causing chaos in the community or in your country. Your leaders won't work together. They more concerned about themselves and how much they gonna get and how they gonna take care of their families. If they was concerned about the whole country, they'll be pushing to get America peoples back to work.
So let's talk about this community right here. We have a lot of that. We can just transcend that to this community. So you're kind of disappointed in Donald Trump that he did not do.
Yes, I am in that way because you have the power to help any community or any people. When you don't speak out against certain things that you know is wrong, you destroying your community and your people by doing that. It's just like a man take a stance to try to help the people that can't defend themselves or don't know how to defend themselves by laws or just little things that they can buy. Don't know how to buy something. And a person come to their aid, he could have had a problem way back in the past. But the people forget is now. What am I doing now? The past is the past. Now is what you depended upon. Why? You cannot tell what you ate in the past. You can't tell how it tastes. Today is what you count. Today is what counts.
Thanks for saying that. People, I went out to the crash scene with Fred Welch today, and he put up a nice memorial for his family, for Coach Hampton, and I helped with that. And we went and saw that vehicle, and I'm telling you, man, that vehicle was a third of the size that it was supposed to be. And that was kind of heart-wrenching for me to see that. And then, of course, to know what I look up to TC. And TC is, he's actually, believe it or not, I have a lot of respect for him and his opinion, just like I do Dice. And TC is going through it now. And so I bleed with him and I feel with him. And but I got to say this to us as a family. And I can tell you that, first, hey, family, hey, Tracy, if you're watching, if you're not watching, but hey, you'll see it eventually. And I can tell y'all that I want to tell y'all what my daughter died from. And the reason why I want to tell you that is because so many of you out there are doing the same thing that my daughter was doing. My daughter died from respiratory failure, they said, within minutes, and also oxycodone overdose. Said she died within minutes. So from the time, within minutes of it hitting her system, she died. Her system shut all the way down. If I'm not mistaken, that's Percocet, which is a downer. It depresses the system, and so she and folks, it doesn't matter to me what she died from. I'm gonna tell you why. Because I miss my baby. I miss her. And what bothered me in all this is that Shakante was there with her for like 6 hours, and he still did not call the police. He called my son's mother. He called Linda, and that bothered me on that. So if he didn't have anything to hide, if something was okay and something wasn't wrong with that, he would have called 911. He didn't call. What person gonna see somebody dead or not breathing or having a seizure or whatever and not call the proper authorities? So it's just something that me and other people out there will never be able to process. his sisters and brothers, they miss him. Uh, so those of you out there that are using drugs, um, anytime you use a drug, you don't know the outcome of that drug. Any drug, even water, which is not a drug. And if you Google it, you'll see where somebody OD'd on water. They had some kind of game they was playing in California, who could consume the most amount of water. And this person did that, and he died from uh, water overdose, toxicity from water. And so I said that if you're out there using drugs, don't, because you don't know the outcome of that drug. The body itself will eventually build up a tolerance to a drug, or either I don't know. I didn't know that my daughter took Percocets or whatever, but I know a lot of you out there do, or you know someone that does. Tell them it's something that can kill you. Any drug that you consume other than marijuana. And we passed that measure. The measure was passed. It was passed wide by wide margin, and it's so many things, and we'll talk about that when we come back. But I wanted to talk about how Dwayne Davis put up that on, I don't know whether he put it on his Facebook page or put it whatever, playing the same games that Person's playing. And folks, the phone lines open up if you want to call in and talk about something, ask a question. I think that's a good thing, because we had so many things planned today, but we didn't do it. We did a lot of different things, and so we're still here to let you know. So call in with your comments or call in with your questions. The phone lines are open. Is that right, Dice? Dice, how you doing?
I'm good, man. Hanging in
Yeah, call in, but I want to talk about it. And people, you wouldn't have to, Lawton, you wouldn't have to trick folks if you was doing your due diligence, if you was doing your job, if you was doing what you're supposed to do in this community. And we don't have that with this administration nor our governing authority. The only person we have that have really been speaking up for the people and trying to make a difference is Weston Linderman. And we're going to have a lot of people that's going to be running for office. And that's the reason why the title of this show is One Down, One to Go. I kind of like, and one down meaning this election. And people, I tell you that Biden is still ahead in Nevada by about 8,000 votes. And how about he's closing in Georgia, if I ain't mistaken, by about 8,000 votes. So this thing is interesting. Biden still can lose this election. Don't think so, but he still can, because all the votes are not counted. It's not a done deal until it's a done deal. It's not a done deal until all those votes are counted. And so, what's your opinion about the election? Do you know anything about it? Have you been keeping up with it? You haven't?
No, I haven't been keeping out. I just hear stuff at work.
Yeah, and I can tell you this country is divided. One of the things that I think that they should do when they have peoples outside cursing and angry saying stop the count. Now, yes, I believe in freedom of speech. I believe in all that. I believe in people having the right to choose. But I think anyone rights choose stop where another person rights begin, meaning that if you're impeding upon another person's rights, then you need to stop what you're doing. I think they should put those people in the jail. I think this country's has went in the wrong direction, and I think it's going to take all of us to get it back into the right direction. And I got to bring that on a local level. This city is going in the wrong direction. A guy told me today, the person said that he wasn't going anywhere. And that's how he's thinking. He's so arrogant. It's not so much that he thinks that he's so much smarter than you, or that he just thinks that you're so dumb. He thinks that the populace in Meridian, Mississippi is so dumb, that we are so indifferent, that black people in this community just don't care, that they won't get involved. And you can look at it, if I'm not mistaken, about 32% of the people, black folks in America, maybe the state of Mississippi, voted in this election, and about 62% of the white folks voted. If we was to vote, like if we could bring up a higher percentage, we got to do that. I talked to some people, and of course we took their picture like we was going to show you who they were, but we're not going to do that. But they said, oh, we going to go vote. But they was in there buying beer, so we have so many people. And because you know Beamer, and everybody know Beamer. Yeah. Beamer said, hell, I ain't voting, I don't vote. And Beamer don't vote and didn't vote. But I said, Beamer, you can vote for the 65 measure. I said, you can vote for marijuana. He said, hell, I'm going to smoke it anyway. So, that kind of was funny a little bit the way he said it, but a lot of people going to smoke it anyway. But now They have about 22 things that they could look at, and I'm going to read those things to you. You can go to a doctor, and they give you a permit, and that permit will last you a whole year. Now, you can't smoke it in public or anything like that. They're not going to start this until about August. But I think the reason why they did it like that, set it up, if it was recreational, then they would have to let people out of jail. And they don't want to do that. So they set it up, folks, in a way so as that you still can go to jail if you get caught. And I think you can have up to either an ounce or 2 ounces or something like that with this measure. And it's a list of diseases, and then the doctor actually can say, okay, well, this is close to that, and they still can allow for you to smoke marijuana. And so that's a good thing, and I think it'll go down. One of the states, if I'm not mistaken, I don't know, I think it's maybe Colorado, but whatever state it is, and I'll tell you what it is, they have decriminalized if you get caught with a gram of heroin or cocaine, 2 grams of cocaine, they gonna treat you instead of putting you in jail. And it's Colorado. They make $100 million a year from marijuana. So they're gonna use this as profit. They're gonna use that as a way of decriminalizing other drugs. And so I like to say again, in Colorado, I think if I'm not mistaken, was the first state to make marijuana legal for recreational purposes. And I think that Colorado is going in the right direction, and the rest of the country took a while, and even Mississippi, Alabama seem like they're gonna be last this time. That even Mississippi, but you have so many other drugs. You have 9 types of drugs, and I listed it the last time, that are actually more potent and a lot deadlier than alcohol. Folks, we're going to take a break right here, and then we'll come back. Dice Man, are there any songs that you can play for us? Okay, are you ready to play something? And it's gonna be a short show, folks, because we actually was planning on having Low and Dice Man. We was gonna go head to head because the Dice Man, what's that? We going head to head about Dice Man? We going head to head about Donald Trump, and he called him Jim Crow Joe. I'm glad that Donald Trump didn't hear that, because if Donald Trump would have heard that, wow, man, I don't think the Biden would have made it. Jim Crow Joe. Wow. Dice, how in the world did you come up with Jim Crow Joe?
No. I didn't come up with it.
Don't tell me.
Well, I won't get into that.
Yeah.
Jim Crow. Somebody, we got a call.
Yeah, let's take the caller. Yeah. Okay, caller, you're on the podcast with Eddie and the Dice Man and Richard.
What up, Mr. Hope? This Lolo calling in.
What's up, Lolo? Tell us what's going on in this city, and tell ain't you coming? Lo, you know what I believe? I believe today was
I'm gonna be there.
Lo, I believe they was afraid.
Tuesday. I'm gonna be there Tuesday. I have 2 questions. I have one for the podcast engineer Dice. Dice, what was your reason not being ready today for this beatdown?
Okay. Well, just a lot on my mind. Let me answer that
Gray,
quick.
he's scared of us. Gray, he's scared of us.
I believe that's what it is.
He said he didn't vote for our choice, so he should have been more than willing to debate today instead of putting it out. But I'm gonna tell you something, Dice. I wouldn't vote for anybody that don't believe in paying their taxes. But question for you, Mr. Lawson, guest.
Oh, you know.
Yeah.
You say.
Wait a minute, hold on. Lolo, he want to answer that question. Go ahead, Dice, answer.
Okay, go ahead and answer that question, Dice.
Okay, I want you to be able to sleep good tonight, knowing that ain't nobody shaking over here. We're good. Okay? I'll be ready for you. Now, I'm a very busy man, got a lot going on. I want to make sure we get this funeral and everything over with my nephew. My partner TC is really going through it with his son, so I want to make sure that everything's out the way. My head is clear, my emotions are clear, and we can really go at it next week. So that's what that
Okay,
is.
point taken.
Okay.
Point taken.
All right. Mr. Law.
Special guest, you said you voted for Trump last time because he was talking about bringing jobs here, getting people back to working. People been working before before he was even thought about. So I need something legitimate. I need you to help me, help you, let the people that listen in understand your standpoint.
Okay.
You know, you got more people that lost jobs up under the Trump administration since he's been in office.
Okay. Now, I don't keep track of a lot of job record about people working, but what you're saying is true. When I seen the man make that statement on the stage, that's why I changed over for him.
Okay, you know that politics. Okay, let me ask you this: what type of field you work in?
I'm a welder. That's my number one field, welder. But I've done some of all kinds of work, packing
You a
house.
what? You
Welder's
a
my
what now?
welder.
Welder.
Welder is my trade.
It's like Papa Gunner
Okay.
welding.
Okay, so that's what you do for a living. Okay.
No, that's what I used to
Okay.
do for a living. I've done
So
all
what
kinds
you
of
do at the
jobs.
so what you do at the present time?
I do a lot of volunteer work. I'm
Oh,
69 years old.
He's retired.
okay.
Where
You
you
know
go
what
over
I'm
there,
getting at, don't you,
Long? But you
Mr. Hope?
spit
Mr.
it
Hope,
on out, Long.
Mr. Hope.
I do a lot of
Hey,
volunteer
Mr.
work. I work every day.
Hey, Mr. Hope. Mr. Hope, you know what I'm getting at, though, don't you?
We want you to spit it out. Yeah, I know what you're getting at. Go on, say it, Long. Go on, ask the
I was
question.
thinking that he was like in the 400,000 bracket a year to be voting for somebody like Trump. Trump didn't even produce his tax record. He kept saying that he would produce. He never produced, and he finally got exposed that he never paid any taxes other than $750. You know, Trump refused to let black folks move in his property. There's a whole lot of stuff Trump done. Made fun of handicapped people, made fun of John McCain. That's the reason why he lost in Arizona. He's a bigot. He's a racist. I can never support someone like Donald Trump. Donald Trump, he was born with a gold spoon in his mouth. He got money from his daddy. He dodged the military from going in the military. Trump is a fucking loser. I don't know anybody in their right damn state of mind can vote for somebody like Trump.
Okay.
I don't know anybody can vote for somebody like Trump.
Another thing I know
You get what I'm
about.
saying? You know what I'm saying, Mr. Hope? I don't know anybody in their right state of mind can vote for a racist ass bigot. And he don't stole more money from this country than any damn president. Every time you turn around, where he at, Gray? On a golf course. On a golf course. We're causing taxpayers millions and millions of dollars. You know when they fly,
Low.
going to different areas playing golf, it's us, the taxpayer, paying it. And I'm going to tell you something. He even go down to his own golf course. Taxpayer paying for all that right there. That man done ripped off this damn country.
Sure
I
have,
can't
Low,
wait
but
till
Low.
Joe Biden whoop his ass. I can't wait, Gray.
I can't wait either, Low. But you done made Dice over there taking notes, Low. We gonna have to
Yeah, you
arm
better
ourselves,
take the
man.
note.
He
You
over there
better take
taking
the
notes,
note,
Low.
You better take the note, Dave. You better take the note. But Gray, I'm gonna tell you this right here. When you started talking, when you first came on, I was like, I'm glad I did miss that show. Because you made me tear up. Now, Gray, I'm not trying to get you tearing back up now, but I feel your pain.
Thank
I
you,
read
Lord.
my sister that died back in '96 death certificate, and I can
Yeah.
tell you one thing right now. That's not a great feeling. That is not a great feeling.
Yeah, it sure
But
ain't.
the only thing that giving me a little comfort, I know she died in her sleep. She didn't suffer because she died in her sleep. But I'm gonna get off the show and let y'all do what y'all do. But Dice, you better have your A game coming Tuesday, because I'm coming for you. I'm coming for you, Mr. Wood. Well, Greg, I'm holler back at you later on. I'm holler back at you later on.
Thanks, Long. Hey, Dice, you better bring TC with you. You better bring TC if he's able. You better bring TC. Well, you gonna need some help. Because Low got the info, and then I got statistics and facts in there I'm coming with.
Hey, y'all better be ready for the smoke. Remember, I'm a think tank.
I already know it. I
Okay.
already know
All
it.
right. All right.
And we're gonna let the people decide.
There you go.
Yeah. Lofton, you better come. They gonna need your help. They gonna need it. I promise you, they gonna need it.
I'm gonna have to do a lot of reading, a lot more.
Folks, we're gonna take a break here right now, and then we're gonna come back, and then we're gonna read your comments, whatever you have. If anybody want to come in and have something they're concerned about, you can if you don't want to call in, you can type it, and the Dice Man will read it, and we'll answer it. Okay, Dice Man, take us to a break. Folks, that is that's the name of that song. I love that song. I think that's the best song she ever made. I just love that song. I'm a guitar player, so I like that. I'm going to add that to my list of favorites when I get off this show. People, I want to talk about a friend of mine came by here today, Terry. I think his last name Johnson. But David, you know him. He used to do all the picture taking when I used to put on events and things like that. And he said, my nephew running for mayor. And so I guess that's Tyrone Johnson. It's his uncle. Yeah, so that's Terry. Name is Johnson. Anyway, we're good friends. Has nothing to do with Tyrone or anything like that. He said, uncle is running for office. He's running for mayor, and I think he's gonna get it. I said, yeah. I say, I let him know that, hey, I know we're friends, but I'm the person that presented the argument to the city council that proved that he lived outside of his district. Then I said, I don't think that he'll be elected. I don't think people will vote for him. I said, he lied. He was caught in a lie. He said that he would prove me to be wrong, and he was proven to be wrong. And he moved out of his district 3 months before it was brought to their attention. And I think person knew about it, and everybody knew about it. But that's the reason why we need to get a different governing authority. We don't need to keep these people in office. And so, and then another thing he said, Terry told me this. Now, I don't know whether it's true or not, but he said that his uncle told him that he built the Belmayon Center over there. He's the reason why that center over there. Now, we all know that's a lie. I said, it's easy for you to verify that. I said, the people that are instrumental in bringing that here, Boys and Girls Club, Joe Norwood made that clear. Joe Norwood donated $50,000 from District 4, and Dustin Markham. These guys actually did all the work on, didn't have anything to do with Tyrone Johnson, Millie Johnson, Billy Johnson, or any other person by the last name of Johnson. But the fact that he would lie to his uncle, if he lied, is the reason why we don't want. But then one of the problems with Tyrone Johnson is that, I admire where he came from. I admire his accomplishments. I think one of the things that I see with him is that you gotta be what I consider have. You gotta have concrete thinking. You have concrete thinking abilities, meaning that if you have a subject, if you do a paper, you gotta tell people what you're gonna tell them. Then you got to tell them. That's the introduction, the body, and the conclusion. So you tell people what you're going to tell them, then you tell them, then you tell them what you told them. So in other words, then you got to have subset A, B, C. If you have, Roman number 1, 2, and 3, and then if you have a capital A, and then under Roman number 1, then that says that also that you're going to have a B and a C, or either a small a. In other words, your thoughts got to follow. You got to follow your thoughts, and Tyrone Johnson have demonstrated that to me, that he does not have that ability. So we really don't want anyone to be our mayor that does not have what I call concrete thinking abilities. That, in other words, that you say something, you remember what you said, and then you support it with fact and evidence, and I have not seen him to have that ability. If he had the ability to do that, and then obviously he has a problem with reality, he has a problem with distortion, has a problem with prevarication, being forthright or forthcoming or telling the truth. And so he's not what we have that already in the worst kind of way under this administration. So no, we don't want Tyrone Johnson to be mayor. I know the folks are depending on him, but he's not going to get it. But see, white folks spend money like that. And I say white folks, we'll say people that are in a position of power, whether they're white or black. But in this community here, most of them are white that are benefiting from the suffrage of the people in this community. See, they're going to support people like Percy Bland and Tyrone Johnson. They're going to call other people, Chuck, I love you. But, if the people that are asking you to run for mayor, if it's Rebecca Delaney, if it's whatever the other Delaney person named, Ann Alexander, these are the people that are asking you to run for mayor. And I'm just speculating. I'm not saying, y'all hear what I'm saying, people. In other words, the people that are in a position of power, the people that have been benefiting from this community for decades, for ever since I was a little boy in this community, they are benefiting, and their families been benefiting from that. And these are the people that are asking you to run for office. Then we don't want you to run for office. And I say that out of all love and respect. I say the same thing to you, Jimmy Smith. If folks, we got all kind of chaos happening here. I don't know who that is, but somebody finished. Dice, play me a song real quick. Folks, I apologize for that, but my children's supposed to know better than that. But I didn't tell them, so I'm gonna tell them now. I'll tell them then. But anyway, people, See, that just was just, that's what the devil do when you giving good information. It's always going to be something to disrupt that thought, whether it's somebody calling in or all that was going on. So I want to apologize there, but I want to get back there. And I'm going to say this out of Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith, my big brother, got love and respect for you. But if the people that are asking you to run for mayor, if it's the Delaney's, if it's the Alexanders, if it's Bruce Martin, if it's the Bob Lukes, if it's the so-called who Meridian, the Bougie folks, if these are the folks that are asking you to run for office, then Jimmy, we want you to stay retired. And I'm saying this, folks, out of all love, and I'm not trying to offend anyone, but I think anybody can appreciate somebody being candid, and that's what I'm being. I'm being candid, I'm being honest. Is that if you're not going to come, and we don't want, in other words, don't think that we're so shallow, that we're so uninformed, that we're going to that we're so dissatisfied with the current administration, with the corruption, with the cronyism, with the nepotism, that we're so dissatisfied with that we're going to, hey, that we want him gone, so we want somebody to come back and save us. We're looking for Jesus to come and save us. Hey, but we don't want Jesus to come save us, if Jesus is not going to go into the temple and turn the tables over. And this is what need done at this juncture. We don't need the Jimmy Smith. We don't need the Chuck Young if Chuck Young ain't gonna come and turn the tables over. We don't need Jimmy Smith if Jimmy Smith ain't gonna come and turn the tables. You gotta go up in the temple and kick ass. You gotta go up in there and turn the tables over. If you're not willing to do that, then we don't want you to come here. We don't want the minorities in this community here to select the next mayor for us. We don't want that. We want to choose our own mayor. I know it's a certain amount of responsibility on that. We got to go out. We got to go and we got to start voting. We're not voting like we should. We're not registered to vote in some cases. When you see people like Snoop Dogg voting for the first time, wow. Now, I'm proud of that because some people go through life and they never vote. I'm proud of that. But by the same token, I'm disappointed in that somebody that could be so rich and so wealthy that they're so detached from a community. These are people that you see watch like Ice Cube, and you see them watching, you look at them as being some type of militant, some type of pro-black person, but they hadn't been voting, or they're not voting at all, or they support people like Donald Trump. And of course, that's another day for another show. And so I said this, what we need is we need a new school board. Now, we had Miss Hardaway to put on there, but she's retired. She don't even have children in the school system. So again, we keep defeating the purpose. So I don't know a lot about her. All I know is that she's too old to be on the school board. If she don't have children in the school system, I don't know, what can she bring to the table? We have John Compton that's been the school board attorney for more than 30 years. Too Bell, let me tell my story. I know y'all thought I wasn't going to call his name. Too Bell said, bro, do you really know it's 30 years? It can be 40 years, Too Bell. I don't care. He been there too long. Folks, did you know that the school board attorney is appointed only by the year? Meaning that he don't get a job for 4 years. Every year they have to appoint. They've been reappointed. That's one of the things, and y'all know Ed Lynch, my brother, but that's one of the things that he disappointed me in, is that they continue to reappoint John Compton. John Compton is the master. He's the one that engineered the school, the prison, and pipeline. But this man is steady getting paid from this system, making $100,000 a year, $200,000 a year. He's getting paid too much money. I don't see what he could be doing to earn that kind of money. My numbers is my numbers. You hear that too, Bill? My numbers, my numbers. So let me call my numbers like I want to call them out. And so we have that. But let's talk about the school board. The school board should go. We need an entire new school board, a mixture of people that are concerned about our children. Anybody that work in Meridian Public School needs to be reflective of the community itself, meaning that we need to look at the racial demographics of this community, and we need to place those people in positions that's going to make decisions and create policies that's going to affect our children. We need to bring in, if a teacher's not qualified to teach our children, they should not be teaching at school. They should not get any kind of special certification. See, if you can bring a person in that's not qualified to teach your child, because they're going to take the substandard wage. So what I suggested, what we need to do, we need a new school board, and we need to increase the salaries. I don't care what it takes to bring qualified teachers from anywhere in America that want to come here into Meridian and help fix this, because our children is that. We're talking about our children, talking about your children. So we going to have to do that. Hold up. Too bad I know y'all in my head. Could you get out of my head just a little bit? Too bad said, bro, you just want, no, Lofton don't say nothing. Qualified black teachers. Qualified black teachers. I told you, I'm telling you, I'm trying to come across as just being what you call, not necessarily politically correct, but just factual. And I think the consent decree calls that the teaching community needs to reflect the community itself. So we got a student body with Meridian Public School, and then you have what I say about 90% of the students there are black. I think 90% of the administration need to be black. Amy Carter need to be fired. Any principal that has a failing school, if they don't have a C-level school, that teacher, if they get a D, they're on probation for 1 year to bring it up to a C or better. If they don't do that after 1 year, they need to get on down the road. Do you understand what I'm saying, folks? It ain't about keeping people and feeding them and make sure they pay their car note in the house. No, I don't care about that. We need to make sure our children are being educated and being educated by qualified people. Anytime you have people that are there that are being paid just to babysit our children, and Meridian Public Schools, so we need to get rid of Amy Carter. We need to get rid of every principal. I don't care who it is. If they're over a failing school system, they need to go. So, yes, so Jimmy Smith, if you're willing to come in here and kick those tables over, and we don't want any more no big what they have when they awarded contracts, no bid contracts. We don't want that anymore. If you're not going to come in here and do that, Jimmy Smith, we want you to stay retired. Chuck, if you're not going to come in here and do that, we don't want you to do that. Kim, we know you're not going to do it because you've already demonstrated that. Tyrone Johnson, you're not, your cognitive ability is questionable. So we don't want you, and also you're not going to do that because you had the opportunity to do that and you didn't do that. You want to run for mayor and you was removed from office for lying and moving out of your district. So we know that you're a liar. We know that you're a cheat, because any time that you was in another ward and you was collecting money, nigga, you was stealing. So, but now you want us to elect you as mayor, somebody that we know you stole, we know that you tell a lie, we know that you're not able to follow your thoughts, we know that you're contradictive in your own communication, meaning you're arguing one point and 20 minutes later, if you're still there, you're arguing a different point, actually validating the first person that was saying something against you in the first place. What we're going to do now is we're going to read those comments, and then we're going to talk a little bit, and then we're going to get it up and out of here.
Okay, see what we got here. Thais E says, good evening, everyone.
Hey, Thais.
So, Thais, Mississippi B. Mac says, good evening, Gray.
What up, B. Mac?
Loretta Bennett says, Dice, be ready for this beatdown. Gray and I going to give you on Tuesday. Okay, you're gonna wish it was Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday by the time I get finished with that. Okay. Louise Jones says, good evening, everyone.
Hey, Louise.
Go down just a little bit. Sorry about that, guys. All right. Loretta Bennett also says, Gray, I know the feeling reading a loved one death certificate. And it just skipped on me. We're going to get it right. Hold on just a second. Oh, she took that off. Okay, gotcha. Shouldn't have done that before my eyes. But anyway, Ellen Franklin says, top of the evening, Dice, Mr. Holt, and guest.
Hey, Marie.
Hi.
Hey there, Miss Franklin. Kendall Holt says, the guest speaker is a great speaker.
Thank you, nephew. That's actually my cousin, my first cousin once removed. Okay. But he's young enough to be my nephew.
Okay. Thank you.
And he's in Ohio.
Okay.
Appreciate you.
Louise Jones says, I'm with you, Loretta Bennett. We always had jobs. Blacks have come up a lot. So they're saying that in reference to your comment about the work, Mr. Lofton.
Yeah.
And I think what Lofton meant was, and I know, I talk to him all the time, and when Trump talking about bringing jobs, Lofton didn't say everything. He talking about bringing jobs back to America. See, all the jobs, all the manufacturing and everything's been sourced out to other countries. And what Donald Trump said, he's going to bring it back to America, and he did not do that. And they're, of course, putting us to work, because when jobs are sourced out, we lose jobs and we sit around and have to create jobs for ourselves. Am I right?
That's true.
Okay. Maddie Turner says praying for you, Mr. Holt.
Thank you, Maddie.
Mississippi B Mac says, Holt, you just saved someone's life by pouring your heart out. God be with you and give you peace and strength.
Thank you.
Brenda Gordon says, amen, brother. We need to help each other and be willing to work until we may or may not be blessed abundantly.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Fred Wells says, good evening, fam.
Hey, Fred.
What's up, brother Fred?
Folks. Fred, now I'm finna tell my story. Don't you say nothing, because I know you might be Fred Wells too, Bell. But anyway, Fred weighed about 500 pounds, folks, and my ladder out there is 300. But Fred was on that roof with me, and we put that 10 down. So I just want to say thank you. Let me tell my story. Now, he don't weigh that much, but he's a big man. He's probably about 280 or 240, and probably about 6'4", 6'5", and he went up that ladder, and he helped me. He helped me. We pulled that up there, and I just really appreciate you, Fred. I really do. Thank you.
Okay. Brenda Gordon also says, Eddie, God knows your pain. No one will get away with wrongdoing. Sowing and reaping is a true spiritual, active, powerful force. No one escapes.
Thank you, Brenda. It's folks, I can just tell you, it's hard. It's really hard on me, and what I don't be wanting to do is I don't be wanting to tell y'all or talk to my family. So I stay here. I just about nothing make me feel better, just about, and it's really, really hard. So I spend a lot of time by myself, and I appreciate my family, but that was my daughter. That was a part of me. That was just ripped out. And I know y'all love your children. If you love your children, love them every single day, because, it's just like the Welch family, like the Hampton family. Coach had no inclination what was about to happen to him. It was no fault of his own. He did everything right. He was living the American dream. I mean, and somebody came out of nowhere, and the last thing went through his mind. Fred, you have to put that up there. I ain't going to say what he said if he was on the phone with somebody. And just imagine. So he said 2 words from what I'm understanding. If I ain't mistaken, hope the family don't get upset. He said, no, I ain't going to say what he said, and that was the last thing that was said. He just didn't expect that. He was going through the green light. And folks, you don't ever know, so love your family, love your children, because you don't know when it's the last time. And then, folks, you got to really watch your friends, because they couldn't have done to Chuck had they not been somebody he knew or somebody he froze. So you just got to forever be wary of the wiles of the devil. I just got to tell you that, and I got to say it like that.
Okay. Brenda Gordon also says, we do what we can do to right a wrong, but all we cannot to God got it.
Yeah.
But all we cannot do, God got it. That's what she meant.
Yeah. Well, what we can't do, God would do for us. Yeah. I can just say, people, is that, and I'm gonna talk to you from a religious perspective for a moment. God had this. God had with my family. God had it, because everything just fell in place, and even, I gotta say, I believe with all of you out there that lost loved one, I think God have it, because I think that God put all of us in a position to prepare us for things that are about to happen, because God know it all. And so, because had I been here, I wouldn't be here. Had I been here, I wouldn't be here. And so, but it's a lot of things where I've been wanting to do things, but in time I'm different. I find better ways or other ways to do this. And so the Mississippi Bureau of Investigation is still investigating my daughter's death. And so that's a good thing. And so I'm letting them do their thing. And if they see something in all that forensic investigation, that forensic technology, if they see something in it on the cell phone, in the iClouds, in the cloud, or whatever, I'm sure that they'll find out about it. And so I still feel so, folks. It's something I'm gonna go through, and I know when I talk to him again that it'll be a bad moment for me, no matter what he tell me. But nobody likes to lose a loved one, and especially when that loved one is taken from us. My baby graduated from high school at 17. She was an honor student all through school. I don't have ashtrays in my house. I don't drink. I don't smoke. And she came here to Meridian, Mississippi, and a family member introduced her to a guy that introduced her to weed and pills. And I didn't know that until this year. My baby was really, really, really sad because she was so living out of her environment and so doing things that she didn't want to do. And I ain't gonna call the family member name, but that family member, a family member should cry for the rest of their life because they share a responsibility in this, because they introduce her to this person. If you got a little sister or a little brother, let me tell you something out there, folks. If you have a little sister or you have a sibling that's younger than you are, that's doing good, why would you introduce that sibling to drugs? Or, you know what? If a nigga come around want to talk to my little sister, hey, when I grew up, man, I'm talking about, I done might have told this story. Lee Arthur Hosley. My sister Doris Payne, that's my sister. This dude was in college, and I stood on him. My head came to his chest, and my friend Leon McCoy stood. He was a little taller than me, and we hemmed him up. And I told him he better leave my sister alone, than I was going. I said, nigga, I'm gonna cut you. That's how we talked back then. He said, but he looked down at my head and he saw my face, and he never said anything else to my sister Doris. But my point is that that family member said, "Hey, get away from my sister, nigga. Get on back to Alabama where your dad at. Boy, you better not say nothing to my sister." That's what should have been said, but it wasn't said, and I don't have a daughter today.
Okay. Brenda Gordon says, "I love that song also." Okay. Thank you, Miss Gordon.
Yeah.
Glad you enjoyed it.
I had never heard it before, Dice.
Really?
Yeah, and I love it.
Yeah. Okay. Loretta Bennett says Trump purchased his MAGA from China. So
She talking about Make America Great.
Mm-hmm.
All his,
right.
all the, the hats and things like that, the shirts he purchased from China.
Mm-hmm.
But he want to make America great by buying something from China. Wow.
I got you.
Okay, and that's it, bro.
Well, folks, I just got to say, I want to thank you for listening in, and I appreciate you. And Tuesday we gonna bring the pain. Y'all hear that? We gonna bring the pain. And again, I want to thank you, and thank you, Fred, and thank all of you out there for listening in. And I appreciate you. Lofton, you want to say anything?
The only thing I would like to say is that we have people in position that's trying to help us to know where to go and how to get there. And instead of us working with them and backing them up, we're slowly moving. We need to be right with them by their side. They're trying to help us to do better for ourselves and for our children. When you have this kind of people in leadership, it's trying to encourage you to stop being that old self. Change, be a new self. Help your people go forward and stand by their side. Work with them. And that's what he's trying to tell us today. He's been doing this for years.
Well, thank you. I want to thank you for sitting in with me today. And I want to thank you out there for listening. Dice, anything you want to say to the folk?
No, we're good.
Yeah, people, I want to say this, is that I hope that Jimmy Smith and Chuck, Representative Young, I hope they don't take any offenses. If this, I apologize to you up front. I didn't mean to offend you. I'm just telling you what we are at this juncture in the state of the city, is that we're in dire straits and we need help here, and we need somebody that's going to be willing to go in and turn the tables in. We don't want anyone. I can tell you that I was told that Dwayne Davis, as soon as he won the election, he was invited to Tom and Rebecca Delaney's house, and he went there. Well, you see what we got. He hadn't done anything for us. And you see him, he's politicking, as Lo say, putting his pitch up like he just won re-election. You're going to have to come better than that, Dwayne. You wouldn't have to do any of those things if you listen to your constituency. If you go into this community and look and see what it is that it needs, and then try to do all you can to improve the quality of life of the citizens in this city right here. And also, when Western Linderman asked for an investigation, you should have seconded that and voted for that, because you should have wanted this community to be better. The same on you, the same for you too, Fannie Mae Johnson and Kim Barnett Houston. I gotta say shame on both of you, because both of you should have voted for an investigation on that. And George, I'm gonna say this, shame on you too. I'm gonna tell you why. Because it was a white man that got killed out there on North Hill Street at that grocery store. See, so if any kind of wrongdoing going on in this city, it affects everybody. And I know what you're saying, you really don't care. Most of the crime don't happen out there, but when it did happen out there, it took a life. So if you have a corrupt organization, and speaking of corrupt organization, guess what I saw today in our video, and when Fred videoed, and I videoed, I think I did, yeah I did, I videoed our new chief of police. You know, he's out of shape. He has these pants that the pants, he still wear the same size pants that he wore 15 years ago. But they put it up under their stomach, so his stomach hanging out. He didn't have a gun on, anything. He had his shirt on. He pulled over on the side of the road, and he said something to a homeless person. He was coming from Marion, folks. And I saw a picture today that was sent to me where he's out in Marion with the chief of police or with somebody out there standing up there playing big shot with all this stuff that's going on here in the city of Meridian. And on his way from Marion, y'all know in front of Jump Zone, I guess that's the name of this white guy's always sitting there, and he's soliciting money, but he says he's homeless. Why would you mess with somebody that's disempowered? You just want to stand out so we can see. We see you and we know you. We're going to try to send your corrupt self down the road, because when we send your administration, all them acting everything, all that needs to be investigated. That's the reason why right now we don't need anybody gonna come in and soft step. We don't need anybody gonna come into this administration next, and it's gonna be another administration. Percy says he's not going anywhere. What he's doing, he's treating you with deliberate indifference. He's taking your vote for granted. He's saying, and he's showing you he don't care about you. He don't care about you or anything dealing with you. He don't care about your children. The only thing he care about is his little selected group and his cronyism. And that got to go. But when somebody come in here, we don't want anybody to come in here soft-stepping. We want somebody here. Jesus set a very good example when he went into the temple and turned those tables over. We need someone that's going to be willing to come in and turn those tables over. I want to thank you guys for listening, and y'all have a good evening. Dice, play me a song. Take us home, Dice.